Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Ashley,
And I'm Ricky.
and we are.
What was it again?
Oh my god!
I forgot.
It's, we're the Raphaels, but I said our name was going to be. Oh my god!
Babe, I forgot. Oh my
The
God.
perfect pair.
The perfect pair. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to get more on that. Just got a lot going on.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's just get straight to the point. So the purpose of this video is really just for memories because, as y'all see in the title, you know what's going on. However, it's really just for memories for us because when it happens, we'll be able to look back and see that this was just kind of like a little detour in the path. But however, this video is also for healing for me because I just haven't been the same since February 18th. But I had a miscarriage February 18th. And just to give you a timeline of what happened really, in January, I went on the Daniel's fast. And if you all know what the Daniel's fast is, you know it's very strict. And every year our church goes on the Daniel's fast to begin the year off. And that's how I started the new year off. I went on the Daniel's fast for 21 days. And Ricky and I have been together for 5 years. We've never really tried to have kids. But I knew that, you know, with my age, of course, because he's still so young. But with my age, I'm 32, I knew that it was something that we needed to start to do. So I decided so I prayed about it during the 21-day fast. I prayed every single day. I just asked and I touched my stomach. I said, God, just bless us with a baby. And I knew we agreed that we wanted to start this year to have kids, even though he's been ready for so long. But I just knew together we just wanted to enjoy our marriage first, enjoy dating, and then bring kids into the equation. So January started, and of course we were trying, and it was crazy because my cycle came on the beginning of January. And then it came on again the beginning of February. In February, it came on for about 4 days. It was very light. It wasn't something where I felt like, ooh, what's going on? But it was a lighter period, a lighter cycle than normal, but I still had my cycle. And then that was the beginning of February, lasted for like 4 days. So one morning I got up, and it was probably like around, well, not morning, it was towards the afternoon. I got up and I went to the bathroom, and when I wiped, it was some blood. And this was probably like around, well, this was February 14th. Now my cycle had just came on like the first few days of February, so kind of like around the 3rd through the 7th or something like that. But then February 14th rolled around, and and I wiped, and I had some bleeding, and I'm like, why am I bleeding? Like, my cycle just went off. I didn't experience any cramps or nothing. I was just so like concerned why I was bleeding a little bit. So I text my mom, and my mom was like, oh, it's probably just normal. And then I got on Google, which I advise anybody that goes through any situation, regardless if it's a miscarriage or whatever, just don't get on Google. But I got on Google, and it was saying like cancer. It was saying so many different things, and immediately I just went into shock. I went inside our guest bedroom and just got on the bed, and I just started crying my eyes out. I'm like, Lord, what is going on with me? Because I'm bleeding. My cycle just went off. And then as I was crying, I just kept getting on Google, and then I started texting some of my really good friends, and I was asking them as well. And then some other answers on Google said that some other answers said something like sometimes it's after your after cycle. Like if you didn't bleed heavy during your cycle, it could just be some of it still coming out. So I was thinking, dang, well, my cycle wasn't that heavy. Maybe that's what it is. So you know, after that, for about 45 minutes of trying to figure out what was going on myself and with friends, with conversations with them, which some of them said that they bleed, you know, they bled a little bit after their cycle as well. I thought I was okay. But then when I went back to the bathroom, maybe like an hour later, I was bleeding still. And I'm like, this just don't seem right. So I just called my mom, and my mom was like, take a pregnancy test. And I'm like, why would I do that, mommy? I just got off my cycle like a week ago. Why would I do that? And she was like, I don't know. Now, mind you, all this is on Valentine's Day. So I was like, I had this whole day planned out for Ricky, what I was going to do. I was going to cater to him. I was going to basically have it set up like a spa and give him massages, foot rubs, and pedicures and everything. I had it all set up of what I was going to do. So this is Valentine's Day. And so my mom just kept saying, take a pregnancy test. And I was just like, whatever. So I looked around the house because I do have ovulation and pregnancy tests here, but I couldn't find them. So I just said, you know what? I got to go out and get the rest of the stuff for Ricky anyways for Valentine's Day. So I'll just stop by a store. So I'm all, you know, my anxiety is through the roof. You know, my anxiety be bad when I feel something's going on. So I went to Walgreens down the road, and I got like a first response. I got like the best of the best test. I wasn't playing. I just got it. And then when I sat back down, when I got the test, I was like, kind of feel like I'm bleeding still. Like, what's going on? So I was like, I don't want to think about it because I know my mind can play tricks on me. So I went to GameStop, and I was going to get him a game anyways, part of the Valentine's Day gift. And I went inside a GameStop, and I got a game, got the wrong dang on. My mind wasn't even in it because he has an Xbox and I got a PlayStation game. It was just, I was like, you know what? I need to go home because first I need to see if I'm pregnant. I need to see why I'm bleeding. I don't know. I want to get the rest of his stuff for Valentine's Day, but I need to really figure out what's going on with me. So after I got that game, I just came home. I drunk like 2 bottles of water on the way home, so I knew it was so I could have to pee. And when I came up, I went upstairs and I went in the bathroom, and I was on the phone with my mom. And now, mind you, I didn't even think to call Ricky because I'm just like, Ricky's going to be like, babe, it's okay, you know, like, I didn't know, because he's just like, it was like a girly thing, and I knew he wouldn't know about it. And the last thing I thought was I was pregnant anyways. So after I drank the water or whatever, I had to use the bathroom, and I went in the bathroom, and I was on the phone with my mom, and then I peed. And as I set it down on the sink, I was still on the toilet, and I set it down on the sink, and I looked over, and I was like, hold on. I started shaking. I'm like, hold on, is this 2 lines or is this 1? So I hit the FaceTime button and I showed my mom, and it was freezing up on her, and she was talking, but she couldn't, and she was just like, well, maybe, it looks like 2 lines, but maybe it's just saying 2 lines because you got blood in your pee, and sometimes it can affect the test. So I Googled that, and that said, yeah, that could affect it. So then I sent the picture immediately to my sister, and I sent it to my sister, and before I sent it to my sister, I called Ricky. And I was like, Ricky, and I was shaking, and I had it on the bed, and I was like, look, and I was showing him the test, and he was like,
you had it on FaceTime.
Yeah, I had it on FaceTime, and he was like, wow, babe, oh happy. My gosh, yeah, he's so happy. He's like, it's a good thing. Like, why are you not looking happy? And I'm like, because I'm bleeding. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then on the phone, when I was on the phone with him, I sent the picture to my sister, and my sister immediately called. So I was like, Ricky, I'm going to call you back. And so when my sister called, she was like, Ashley, go to the hospital right now. You need to go to the hospital. That's a positive pregnancy test. And I was like, well, how do you know? And she was like, girl, you know how many pregnancy tests I done took in my life? She was like, go right now. And I was like, okay. So then she started asking about my insurance, and she was like, should you go to urgent care or the emergency room? And then she told me, well, just go to the emergency room, because urgent care, they don't have like OBGYN sometimes right there, but emergency room may have it. So I just went directly to the emergency room. When I went to the emergency room, they took me back there, whatever, and I was just there. And I told, Ricky knew everything that was going on. He was still at work, because that's why he wasn't there. He was at work. And then when I went to the emergency room, of course, I was telling him, like, don't come, because I should be in and out. Like, I just want to know if I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So when I went back there, and about time he had came way over to where he works at to over here, I probably would have been leaving anyway. So it would have been like a waste. So that's why he wasn't there, if you guys are wondering. But when I went back there, they ran all these different tests, did blood, pee, and all that stuff or whatever. And then the doctor came in and he was like, hey, so, you know, the nurse had already came in and asked me what was going on. Then the doctor came in and he was like, hey, so what are you here for? And I'm looking at him like, sir, didn't I just explain everything that was going on? Like, what do you mean? And then, but I just was like, hey, you know, I had blood in my pee, blah, blah, whatever. And I took a pregnancy test and came back pregnant. He was like, oh, well, congratulations. And I was like, And then he was like, congratulations. And I was like, he was like, did you say you took a pregnancy test? And I was like, yeah, but, you know, just at home. When he was like, well, we did our test, whatever, and ours came back with you being pregnant as well. So congratulations. And immediately I was like, what? I'm pregnant? Like, oh my gosh, how is this possible? Like, I was
self-shocked.
So shocked. So then after all of that, they told me, you know, stay off my feet or whatever, follow up with my OBGYN the next day, and you know, just follow up with them because I was threatening a miscarriage, but the baby was good at the time. They did the ultrasound. I heard everything. The people was telling me I was good, nothing was wrong. But if I experienced any heavy bleeding from that Friday, which February 14th was on a Friday, to until I was able to see my OB that Monday, to immediately come back to the hospital. So Friday came, so I left there Friday. Saturday, I didn't have that much bleeding. Sunday, we went to church. It was magnificent. Like, the pastor prayed for us. At the beginning, when I first went to church, I had some bleeding, but it was like, I was like, it's just because I'm my anxiety and I'm stressed. But then after that, the whole day, Sunday, I didn't have any bleeding. So then Monday, he took off and we went to my OB. And if I know how to insert clips, I will, because he recorded the nurse practitioner. She came in and she, you know, after they ran the test, she came in, she stuck her hand, she checked everything, and she was just like, I was good. She said she saw no active bleeding. I was good, but they, you know, my HCG at the hospital was 600, and they were going to test my HCG as well, again, to make sure it was increasing the way that it needed to be. But it seemed like everything was good to go. Don't you think so?
Exactly. Everything was good from the time that we left from the checkup, and since then we just try to keep her off her feet. She didn't go to work or none of that stuff, and you know, we just kept coasting on, and you know, just taking it day by day until we got the final results.
And that was, they called me on Tuesday and was like, they called me Tuesday and they was like, hey, Miss Raphael, I just wanted to let you know the results are back in and your HCG levels dropped from 600 to 228. And she was like, so that basically means that you had a miscarriage. And I was like, you know, and I had so many emotions because I'm like, we prayed at church. I fasted for this for 21 days. When I just left the nurse practitioner the day before, less than 24 hours, she said everything was okay. And now I'm turning around on February 18th and you're telling me I'm having a miscarriage. So I was just so confused, like, how? First off, I didn't even know I was pregnant. Then you turn around and now I'm having a miscarriage? Like, and it was just so many emotions. I immediately just started crying, and I called Ricky and I told him that was the results. Like, the baby was no longer, and that you know, she told me that I was having a miscarriage and that I would have to follow back up to test my HCG again to make sure it wasn't an ectopic pregnancy, that the HCG was slowly decreasing. I mean, decreasing like it was supposed to be for a miscarriage. And when I think about it, like, I never knew during the whole month of January that I was pregnant because they told me that my due date was October 8th. I got pregnant January 2nd, and the baby would be here October 8th, which is 4 days before my birthday, which it was very hard to even swallow or digest as well. But when I look back, I was like, dang, I did have some symptoms because I went through a spell of only wanting to eat jalapeno peppers, however you say it.
Jalapenos.
I just wanted to eat that. I was eating so much, but I didn't know that I was pregnant like this whole time. And I went through a phase of like guilt, like, what did I do wrong, like, throughout this time to make me have a miscarriage? Like, I felt like I did everything right. I prayed for it. God answered the prayer, but now from here, how am I losing a baby? And then what made it even harder was the simple fact that they said that I would be passing the baby on my own. Like, so I didn't have to have surgery or DNC. I didn't have to take medicine or nothing, that it would just come out. So I'm sitting here witnessing like this tissue and the afterbirth and the placenta come out of me, and it was just really hard. And like, it's not easy. It's still not easy to this day, but I really just wanted to make this video because as when I'm watching YouTube or if I talk to other people about it, a lot of people say they go through it, but I just feel like I'm the only one going through it. Like, I know a lot of people have, but it's personal for me, and it's just really hard because like now I don't like looking at pregnant people. Sorry, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see newborns because I keep thinking like I'm supposed to be pregnant. Every single day I still cry because literally I lost a child. And one of my friends sent me, like, I was doing this devotion on the Bible app, and one of my friends sent me a devotion, and it was like prayer through a miscarriage. And it was saying like in the Bible how that's still your child, and when you go to heaven, like, you'll be able to see your child that you lost. So it's just really hard because when I think about it, I'm like, I lost the child. And I really just don't know how to feel about losing a child. Like, I feel embarrassed. I feel less than. I feel like I let him down because I know he wants kids. I just have so many emotions, and it's just really hard knowing that I was supposed to be pregnant right now, and I'm not. And as bad as I want kids, like, I've always just wanted multiple kids, like 8.
Yeah, that was the count.
And to know one of them's like not gonna ever be here, it's just hard. It's hard for me, and like, I cry all the time, and I'm trying not to cry now because I feel like I did my makeup kind of cute. So I don't want to cry and mess it up. But it's just really hard because at the end of the day, it's like I lost a child, like, and I'm supposed to be pregnant in something that I want more than anything to like. And then when you think how faithful I was throughout the process, like for the 21 days, how, like, I was just so many thoughts go through my head. Like, I prayed for this, like, I was faithful, I was obedient, I did everything that I was supposed to do, and then how? And then I look at other people and be like, how are they pregnant? Like, they're not even bringing a baby into a stable house home. Like, and then we are. And then this situation just happened. It just makes me so sad. And I was looking earlier today at the pregnancy test, like, and I still keep them because it's just really hard because it's just when I think about, like, from February 14th to February 18th, that Ricky used to ask me all the time, like, why aren't you happy? Like, the baby's gonna be okay, like, everything's good. And I'm just thinking, like, but I'm bleeding, so I didn't have a chance. It was just so many emotions from the time I found out to the time that the nurse called me. It was just so many emotions. And then afterwards, knowing that I gotta physically feel a child come out of me through, like, see the tissue, see this, all this stuff come out. It was just the hardest time ever. But only reason why I just really wanted to make the video is for memories, because I just have faith that it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. and the baby's going to be healthy, and we're going to have healthy kids, and baby's going to be, we're going to have kids. We're going to have kids this year, but
at the end of the day, we're going to have kids. It hurts, but
it just hurts because like the other day when we were talking, it's like, you know, you start playing like the blame game. Like, he's like, well, was it something to do with me, or was it something to do, like, you just don't really know what, and they call it a spontaneous abortion because it's no issues with the woman health wise, but then the baby just terminates on its own. And it's just hard because when I see other people with babies and stuff, like, I just get really sad because it's just something that I just really want. And then when people tell you, like, everything's going to be okay, but then it's not.
It's just something hard to go through. And, like I said earlier, it really hurts. I mean, something we gonna get through this. We're gonna look back at this. And we'll have kids. It's just going through this right now. It's just a tough time for us. And
I don't think I'll ever get over it. As much as I try daily to, like, not think about it, or, but, like, whatever. Like, I could be cooking and then I just start thinking, like, I'm supposed to be pregnant right now. Like, I'm supposed to be having a baby, like, 4 days before my birthday. Like, I'm supposed to be planning baby showers. I'm supposed to be getting stuff planned. But, like, as much as every single day I start thinking about it, and I just be like, why? Every single day since February, it's been almost a month and I'm still crying about it. Like, I just got my last results like last week. So it's like, they just told me my HCG was at 0 last week. So this whole time I still had the pregnancy hormone in my body, and, like, when they finally told me, oh, it's at 0, she was like, I have good news, but it's not good news, but it is, because you don't have to have any surgery or anything, but your HCG is at a 0. Which means the baby, you know, is all gone and you don't have any hormones of pregnancy in your body no more. Like, that just tore me apart. It's just like, that's it. It's just like, when you have a miscarriage, it's like, that's it. And you're just supposed to forget about it. It's just the hardest thing ever. But I just, lastly, before we end this video, I just want to say, like, I do appreciate, like, one thing that is important is, like, I could not imagine even went through the whole process from finding out to the time where I was bleeding to the time that, you know, I had the miscarriage to just last week. I couldn't have pictured myself going through it alone. Like, I appreciate, like, you allowing me to grieve the way that I have been, like, the crying, or if I just get mad, or if I just don't want to talk and stuff, because I know I was reading and it says, like, men grieve differently, and you just, you know, you just are.
I mean, we grieve differently, but the most important thing, we just have to stay strong. We try to stay strong for the woman. Try not to break down. You know, we just gotta be strong for us, and for us, and for her. It's just tough.
But I just thank you for allowing me to grieve the way that I have, however I'm doing it, because I just don't ever feel like, like I said, I feel like I let you down because I know that you want kids, but
You didn't let me down.
And we told family and then had to tell them like it wasn't. It was just too much.
Thank y'all. Thanks for tuning in. A little bit, try to keep, to try not to think about it is do stuff, or what we have to do is
That's why I like hanging
or
around.
what we can do is create like a memorial for the child, you know what I'm saying? Name it the name we want to name it, and who's going to name our child. And just have a memorial for it. And then every day when you feel like you cry, you know our baby's right there. Get some angels or something. Or we know when we do have our kids in the future, in present, we always tell them this is your brother, your sister. And that's what we gonna do. You hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I'm just tired of thinking about it. So hard to see her. I'm done. I just need to not think about it. So I like to do stuff because I don't like thinking about it. And the more I be, Google and stuff, it just say